Hello. Today I want to talk about this bargain, or is it, that I got from the eBay, and this cost me, it was just over $30. Okay, so what is it, you're asking yourself? Okay, this is, can you see it? Yep, this is the Nexus 7, and this is the 2012 version. Okay, so specs on this are at 7-inch, 32 GB of memory. It's got a 1280 by 800 screen, and 1 GB of RAM, and it has a NVIDIA Tegra 3, which is 1.2 gigahertz, so it's clocked at, and of course the usual things there. You'll see the micro USB headphone jack, etc., etc. So this one also is where is the SIM card slot? Here you can see is a SIM card. So this is 4G LTE, all for $30. So is that a good bargain? Is it a good buy? Okay, well, there's pros and cons to buying this. Of course, this is 2012, so it's like 5 years ago. There's a lot of things have moved on since 5 years ago is really completely different now. So $30, 4G LTE 7-inch tablet. Well, you know, the screen I think is still really pretty decent. Okay, was that my wife? She says hi. My wife sent me a message. The screen is pretty decent. Of course, not full HD, but I don't think really you'd tell much of a difference. I'm use this for reading a lot of books using my glasses, which are pretty magnifiable, and I don't see it very grainy. So okay, so I think it's pretty decent. The tablet in itself, well, I mean, it feels pretty hefty. I mean, it is a design of 5 years ago. I still think it looks cool, but it is chunky, so there's no getting away with that. The biggest problem with this is the day-to-day usage. It's really struggling now with it. Has Android 5.1, so it's Lollipop, and I mean, it does really struggle for the most part. Now, I did Antutu. Let me just open it up here, and you will see that it got a Antutu score of well, it'll probably take a while to so there was the Antutu score. I don't know if you can see it. There is 22,473. So I mean, it's not particularly fast, but let me just look at the info here, make sure I get everything. So yeah, NVIDIA Tegra 3, 1280 times 800 resolution. This one's 32 GB of RAM. It does come with 16. Does not take a SIM card, and the cameras are, let me see, the camera, I'm sure they're not anything of anything special. If I can see it here. No, I don't see the camera, so let me just double check online what the camera's saying. Let's see here on GSM Arena. It's the battery is 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. Okay, and it's problem is, okay, the problem is I mean, the camera is fine for whatever you're going to use it. The problem is I think the NVIDIA Tegra 3 is just cannot cope. It's very, very slow, and it can be a bit frustrating. But I didn't buy this to be a tablet, so you know, what the hell did I buy it for? I actually bought this to kind of use along with my ebook reader. I'm using it as a reader. Now, if you look at it in that context, an ebook reader for $30, and okay, it's a bit sluggish. Not a bit, it's quite sluggish. But you know, a lot of these ebooks are quite sluggish as well. So. But you also get a 4G tablet, and if you can, and I mean, you can keep it very light on apps, etc. And you have, I mean, it does play movie files, music files. It plays everything pretty decent. And TV, I've watched the football on there from the iPlayer, and it is, you know, the screen is really decent now. Now, what brightness I've got it at? Let me see. Okay, I've got this one at the moment at about a third brightness, so it is really pretty decent. Let me turn it all the way up here a minute. Open my favorite. This is my favorite ebook reader, which is Aldico. The screen is really pretty decent, okay, but this is showing you how quickly this is loading up here, so you know, forgive the speed. It is not very quick at all, but there you go, there it's loaded up. So you know, are you looking for an ebook reader but you want to have some tablet functionality? You can also put your torrent programs on there for your you know, your books, shall we say. You can get them from various websites, your books and magazines. Now, where this beats, in my opinion, where it beats, I have that Kobo e-reader, but I've had the Amazon Kindle as well, but where this beats it really is, I don't think these e-readers handle PDFs particularly well, especially with the text reflow. So with this, you get your Adobe Acrobat or whatever ebook reader you want to use, and the Adobe Acrobat is functioning. Again, it's a bit sluggish, but once you have the book open and you've set your settings for, usually I set for the reading at night and stuff like that, it's you know, you can do your text reflow, which I'm sure you probably can do in fancier ebooks. I just can't do it on my ebook reader, and so it handles PDFs for me better. And plus, it's, you know, I've got 32 GB of storage now, no SD card slot, but that is more than enough for you know, thousands of books. Plus you have the choice of putting in a 4G SIM card and using it as a you know, a communication device if you need that. So you know, look, it costs 30 something dollars. I think it's $32 now. Of course, it was used. And this one came with a slight mark here on the bezel, not the bezel, but the metal edging here, but nothing much, not a mark on the screen at all. The screen is perfect. So if you're wanting a Nexus, but you're really looking for a tablet, shall we say, the tablet functions, then don't go for this. It's too slow. But you know, you can go for the 2013, which is full HD display. It costs a bit more actually. So I mean, you're probably having to pay $70 to $100, probably, and that's only for Wi-Fi. I mean, I've seen them go 32 GB with 4G. Can be, and that's not even new, you know, certainly over $100 up to, you know, 140, 150. So you would need to go for that. It has a faster processor, 2 GB of RAM, still doesn't have an SD card. But if you like the idea of having a e-reader with you know, having a color screen that you could in theory stream Netflix and your you know, watch a movie and stuff like that, this is still pretty decent, okay. Now, as I said, it is a wee bit heavy. The design is not particularly inspirational, but I don't mind. I quite like that. It's this kind of minimalist. Is it minimalist? I don't know. It's kind of just plain. I don't mind it at all. And I mean the weight, okay, I mean if you hit somebody in the head with this, you're probably going to kill them. It is quite heavy, but it's fine for the because of the size. It can be held in my hands with one hand. It could be used as a big phone, I suppose. So I really do think that for people who are into reading their ebooks, you can download them obviously onto from your favorite torrent. Um, it's it's pretty decent, and for that price, I'm not sure what e-reader you would get at that price. I just can't think. Are you going to get any e-reader? You know, and then of course, whatever if you're using this for traveling, etc., and you want to travel light, you still be able to check your email, and you could put you know whatever country's SIM card on there, and if you lost it, you know you're not going to be like losing your iPad Pro. So for e-reader wise and you know sometime tablet, I think it is you know it's worth it. And you could now you do have a choice. So let me just explain this before I finish. There is a choice to update it to I think it's Android 7. Now, there's also the Lineage OS, which is a version, I think it's the Cyanogen mod. People, or half of them now do this thing called Lineage, and I believe there is a ROM for this. And I downloaded another ROM, which was Android 7, but for some reason I cannot get it into recovery by just powering it off and you know toggling the volume buttons. I can't get it into recovery to start it all. You know it's not impossible. I can do it over on the computer over the using ADB interface, but I'm just too lazy, and it probably won't work any better, and it actually might work a bit slower. So I should really get rid of some of these apps, and I will do after I have spoken to you. I'm going to get rid of some of these apps, not some of them, most of them. Keep it very slimmed down, and really it will work pretty decent. Now I will say about this processor booster app again, I think it did work. It helped it with a you know the I just felt it was a bit I'm going to say no sorry at the moment. I'm actually telling you the opposite, but it's just because I'm not going to write a review. I think it made a wee bit of a difference. So that's processor booster app. It was like what was it 99 cents or something like that on the Play Store. So yeah, I'm going to take most of the apps off here, and it's just really going to sit by my bedside to be a e-reader. So yeah, you can repurpose your old Nexus as a reader. I think it does a really good job. The text is very sharp, and it's just as good, if not better, than most e-readers. The battery is fine. Now it's I charged it last night, but I haven't used it, so it's still on full charge. Now, when you're using it for the internet, etc., then it's going to drain. This is a 5-year-old tablet. It's probably not that difficult to change the battery, I would imagine, because it's not too slim. So usually that's a good sign for changing it, but for me it's okay. And for $30 you're getting Asus quality. I think it is. My laptop is Asus. I've had a number of Asus products, so I think you know they're pretty decent. So if the e-reader ebook readers of the world unite, this could be for you. So that's it. Just wanted to show you this $30 Nexus 7 2012 version. You want it, check on eBay, and you can pick up, this is the 4G one with the SIM card. You can pick these up really cheaply, and you know if you don't mind the slowness, and maybe if you could update it, it might actually be quicker. But if you don't mind that, then you've got a very decent e-reader and a relatively slow tablet, but you can use it as for communication. My next review will be the polar opposite of this, so I'm just preparing it. So check my next video. Any comments, questions, etc., etc., then leave them at the bottom. I will get back to you ASAP-ish. Okay, that's it. Bye.